Just how angry are our team at Mark Robins' dismissal? We'll find out in a second. And who next for Coventry City is obviously our big talking point this week. We're going to talk about Sunderland and our refereeing standards dropping in the Championship. But we have to start, of course, with this week's biggest news, which was a shock to certainly the neutrals. It must have come with a shock to the stalwart Coventry City fans that we have on here. Jay, Ben and Tom are here to discuss it. And the sacking of Mark Robins. Jay, to start off with, every single other club we've spoken to so far when we've asked them about this topic has been they cannot believe that Coventry sacked them. So if they're incredulous, you must be up the wall with this decision, are you?
I don't know what incredulous means for a start, so that's not a good start. But yeah, it was a complete shock. Obviously, we had the game against Derby. Wasn't a fantastic performance from us, so not a good. I was a bit annoyed in the morning as well, and then I was having a little rant and rave on Twitter, as I like to do. And then all of a sudden, I got this pop up from Coventry notifications. Mark Robins sacked. I was just absolutely shocked. And if a lot of people said this, it felt like a family member had died. Everyone went through this massive shock period. And if you have a look, I've never experienced anything like this. Everyone on Twitter was defending Robins and sort of saying it's a bad move from the owner. So it was a strange sort of vibe, the whole sort of thing. And then over the last couple of days, it's basically been a lot of fans are going through the grieving process at different stages now. I think I've come around to the acceptance side of it all. I'm sort of looking forward. Other people are still sort of wallowing in this sort of Mark Robins despair as well. The performances, I personally think the performances weren't great over the last, even this season, even toward the back end of last season. The results obviously haven't been fantastic as well. There's a lot of things that go on in the background which we don't seem to have known about. And today, our owner has come out and said a few things about coaches and stuff, which obviously we can go through in a little while. So it was a massive shock and a bit of a roller coaster, a bit of a soap opera, to honestly, over the last couple of days. So massive shock. But as I say, I personally am looking ahead sort of the next stages, next chapter of Coventry City, and hopefully it's a positive one.
Tom, as a young fan, Mark Robins will be pretty much the one manager you've known the most from your time of supporting Coventry. So I'm guessing this hit you probably harder than others, did it?
Yeah, it did. It did massively, actually, because obviously being here for nearly 7.5 years, obviously I was really young when he first came, so it's all I've ever known, really. It was really hard to take in when I found out. I looked at the notification. I saw it like 5 minutes after it came out, and I was really upset. I won't lie, there was tears down the face. I'm not afraid to admit it. It was really hard to take. I always thought he'd walk off into the sunset, as they say, and he'd have that, hero's goodbye, but it wasn't meant to be. It was really sad. But as Jay said, we're all grieving. I'm looking forward and trying to look forward now as well. Obviously, there's been a lot of rumours for the past few days regarding new managers, etc. But it was really tough. And I was obviously at the Sunderland game on Saturday, and there was a lot of singing for Mark Robins, a lot of Doug chants as well. Not very good. Yeah, and then obviously going 2-0 down, it got very toxic. But then obviously it was positive towards the end when we went 2-2, but just really sad overall. I'm really going to miss him. He's the best manager I've seen in my lifetime, but we have to look forward and move on. But it is very sad.
Absolutely. This was one from Liam. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it's happened. There's only one Mark Gordon Robins. So before we move on, Ben, your favourite Robins moment?
There's plenty to go at. My personal favourite Robins moment or favourite
favourite moment Robins. That he's led you to.
Middlesbrough away. Yeah, Middlesbrough away.
Jay, which one sticks out for you?
Again, as Ben said, there's loads of them. But for me, I think the Checker Trader Cup final is the first time we've been to Wembley. A crap trophy, but first time I've been to Wembley with my club, and it was sort of the first time I really believed that we were doing something, that we were heading in the right direction, and it sort of ignited a passion back into me, which obviously Mark Robins has done with a lot of fans. So that for me is, I think, the best moment for me. I'd say, yeah.
Okay, Tom.
I would say there's so many, as obviously Ben said. Wolves away is up there for me. Really, that quarter final being in that away end was so special. After the game, obviously it was Dennis Lawrence's last game as well. It was there was fans crying. I was one of them. I'm a very emotional person when it comes to my club, but it was such a special day, and obviously to get to Wembley in the FA Cup semi was so special. So it has to be Wolves away for me.
Our best moment was stole from us. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
It was.
Absolutely.
Saying that Manchester United game is the first game my young daughter, 7-year-old daughter, it's the first time she actually watched a match because she was looking for me in the crowd. I couldn't get a ticket, unfortunately. And she actually fell in love with Coventry City on that day. And again, it's all down to Mark Robbins. Now she comes to the matches with me. I used to go by myself normally, so I've got some to hang out with now.
Such a special day.
Yeah, exactly. It was just amazing little moments like that throughout the 7.5 years, 8 years he was here.
Absolutely. I've been amazed with the number of fans that have come out and said, we've written to him when our child's been poorly and going through hospital treatments, and he's written out and always reached out to fans. So yeah, proper good bloke. And of course, we, on behalf of this channel, we wish him well. However, football doesn't stop, so we must ask this next question: who do you all want next? Here's the bookies odds as it stood on Saturday morning when I pulled this off. Lampard was top. Robbie Keane, Matt Bloomfield, Eustace, Carsley, Schumacher, Nicky Butt appeared in the list, for Christ's sake. Rob Edwards, Alan Sheehan, and David Wagner. Do any of those make you leap out of your seat, Jay, and go, yeah, that's who we want?
I wouldn't say leap. I'm an old man, so leaping probably a bit dangerous to me at my age. But, none of them sort of really leap out at me. Give it a couple of weeks, Pep might be available, so you could hold out for him, which would be brilliant. I think out of that list, there was no one in particular that sort of maybe thought, oh, wow, I want that person. But when I've looked into it a bit more, Frank Lampard is top of that list. And that is probably, in my eyes, the best option. I know he's got a bad rep being Frank Lampard, but when you actually look at the way he plays football, it's very high press, attacking football, a bit too sort of attacking at times. So I do feel like when I saw Derby and I watched Chelsea play in the first two stints, they were a bit open at the back. But I thought he played good attacking football. His win rates at Chelsea and Derby were quite good. Obviously at Everton, he was sort of on par with Rafa, as you would know, Mark, and not too dissimilar to Dyche. I think his Lampard's 27%, Rafa's 31%, and Dyche's 33%, which equates to about 1 to 2 wins extra a season. And then obviously Chelsea 2.0 was just a disaster all over. So I personally think out of that list, he would be my choice. But I'm not sort of leaping for joy, but I think he could do a good job here.
Okay, we'll say goodbye to any away wins under Lampard. I'll tell you that much. Ben, what about for you?
I'd personally go for a more safer option like Liam Rosinia or Carlos Corberán. I believe has got a £2 million buyout fee. I'd ask that question. But I'm not against Lampard. The Premier League's a different animal. We all know that, so you can't be really judged off that. I don't think has he been at a stable club and had a fair crack at it? I know at Derby he had loads of loans. Chelsea had a transfer embargo. Everton are Everton. They're all over the place. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I'm not against Lampard and whoever it is. I do think that sacking Robins to get Lampard in it's a bit why, but.
On that point of sacking Robins for anyone on that list, again, obviously you mentioned Corberán. I love Corberán, but I don't think he's got a £2 million buyout. I don't know if that's sort of feasible. But again, I don't think there's a lot of people that you would sack Robins for, and there is a massive upgrade because we are Coventry City, with all due respect to ourselves. We're not going to be getting the sort of the better managers.
I don't mind Eustace. I like the idea of Eustace. He's solid. Eustace. Yeah,
he's got paying a big. I think Danny Rolls £5 million. So there's going to be a buyout clause. Again, we don't know how much money.
I'd love Danny Roll, but I think that's
But out of that list, you've cheated a little bit, Ben, there. But out of that list, I think Lampard for me. But I think Eustace would be a good shout as well, as you mentioned. And
Doug is holding talks as we speak, or just as we've come on air here with the fans. Tom, what's the fallout from it, and what's your reaction to it?
Well, I'm still a bit confused, to be honest. So much happening in 1 hour, but from what I understand, what was it he said? He said that Robins has dismantled the coaching staff. Apparently, Robins chose the coaching staff. So I would say he threw him under the bus a bit, which I wasn't a big fan of. But fair play to Doug. He came out and spoke. He answered a lot of questions. I feel like some of the questions were a bit pointless. No offense to the people that asked them. I feel like there was other questions I would have asked. Like one of them was about the stadium. No disrespect to the person that asked it. I wouldn't have asked it personally. But it seemed like he got a bit argumentative at some points. He was stuttering a bit, but he came out, he spoke, so fair play to him. But he came out, the first line was literally like, I want to pay my respects to Mark, but pretty much it's his fault. So throw him under the bus a little bit.
But Doug's been getting stick, hasn't he, off everybody? So I feel like he felt personal, like, I'm doing everything I can for the club.
He got emotional.
Getting his stick. Yeah.
With Dr. Clare as well, I think it was Dean Austin. He made a point that she's getting a lot of stick, which I don't personally agree with.
I don't agree with.
I've not seen much of it though, to be honest.
Okay, there's a lot of
some of it's horrific.
Yeah, nothing too bad, but it's like a few little bitchy comments, let's say, going her way. No one really knows what it does.
Not needed.
She's well regarded in the industry. Our CEO is well regarded in the industry. You don't hear a lot from them. They go do their job quietly and get on with it. We don't really know what they do. But yeah, I think she's getting the brunt of it just because.
It was funny because Doug said if anyone has an issue with what she's doing, he could personally invite you to Ryton to go have a look yourself. So if anyone wants to go to Ryton, just let Doug know and he'll take you around.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Very quickly about Sunderland. Good comeback, that, Ben?
It was a good comeback. I do believe they were lucky to be 2-0 up in the first half. We actually gave a good account. We were moving the ball really well, really fast, 2-1-2 touch football. We looked really good, and their goals were just unbelievable moments of quality. Could have been defended a little bit better, the first one, I'd say. Well, both of them, I'd say. But we was unlucky to be 2-0 down at half-time, and we was on the ascendancy to win that game, not them. Personally, I know we're not speaking about Sunderland really, but they're going to drop off. They're going to drop off. Young mentality, a few injuries, you know.
Yeah, to be fair, they actually said that themselves, that you were probably the better team over the 90 minutes. Good point. Refereeing decisions very quickly. There've been some bizarre ones. We've spoken about it briefly on here before, but there's some absolute clangers. Jay, for you, just watching Coventry games this season compared to previous years, are we on a downward trajectory with the standard of refereeing in this country?
I want to say a downward trajectory. I think it's low. It's just low. Period. I think it's crap. It's been crap for the last couple of years, and it's crap now. Again, there's a moment. At the time, I didn't think it was that bad, but Trey Hume, a bit reckless, went in on one of our centre backs. It didn't look like it stood as showing, but it stood on the stills. You can see the stood as showing and went straight into him. We should potentially got a penalty. Hadji Wright went through, and Luca 9 was all over him from the outside of the box into the box. But if I'm calling for a penalty for that, I don't know if you guys saw the Stoke Millwall.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes, terrible.
Horrific. Is if they're not getting a penalty for that, then I can't complain too much about Hadji Wright's Liverpool. But yeah, it's sad as it sounds, I've just come to sort of accept it really, that the referees are going to be crap, and it may go for you one day, may not go for you in the next day. Unfortunately, it's just what you've got to deal with. And then obviously if the Premier League referees have a bad day, their punishment is, oh, come on, go and referee Coventry versus whoever, or
Preston.
Yeah, exactly.
That's looking at you, Anthony Taylor.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous sort of process for them. But yeah, I just think there's one or two referees I think are actually quite good, but I think the majority of them are, not fantastic. David Coote today, obviously, he's might be off the roster as well soon. So yeah, one less.
Okay. No VAR for you then, Tom?
No VAR, please. I'm still against it after that Man United game. I can't do it.
Okay. A bit of fun this week, just to lighten the mood. It's been the American election, of course, as you well know, this week. So we thought we'd ask what's been the biggest American influence on Coventry City. We threw in South American as well here, so you can have a little bit of extended kind of fun. We asked AI as well. It came back, there's been no significant North American players associated with Coventry City, which I know not to be true. Throw out there your biggest ones that you can think of.
Obviously,
Ole.
obviously number one, actually, right?
How'd you right?
Who was the other one we had?
We had it back and we had Roy Wegley,
Okay.
Kobe Jones. I remember when I was young, we had Kobe Jones. He was like an exciting young midfield player that came through. I think we had for one season. South American.
We had a
He's
centre
in my
midfielder.
lifetime,
I forgot who it
right.
was now. What? Israel Zuniga's from South America, isn't he?
I remember. Yeah, we had a couple of Peruvian players. I remember.
Zuniga.
Yeah, and then I don't know if this counts. He's Brazilian. He only costs $1 million.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking him as well.
He was born in Brazil. Yeah, he was born in Brazil.
I was thinking him.
Yeah,
If it's him, then yeah.
Yeah, our Australian friend that never played for us as well. He's technically Brazilian. Rafael.
We could pretend. Yeah, we could pretend Jay De Silva's Mexican because it's a Mexican name.
Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Where's Claudio when you need him? Right. Okay. Cheers for that. You lot. Can you beat that? Put it in the comments below. Right. Okay. I'm glad to see that you're all still semi-smiling. Anyway, it's been a tricky week for Coventry. 2 weeks off to go and reflect, and we'll see you back in 2 weeks' time with possibly a new manager in tow. I look forward to that. Have a good break, and we'll see you for the next one, which of course is the return of Hamer and Callum O'Hare to the CBS as Sheffield United are in town. See you next week.